All right, guys, what's up? We're live. Welcome back to another episode of the Female POV, TFPOV Live. It's been a couple weeks. I got everybody here. I thought Spence was going to be a little late. I thought TC was going to run into some power issues, and then they showed up. So it's all good stuff. So got a couple returning ladies, a couple new ladies. If you guys are hopefully watching, if you guys are watching this on the AM channel or my personal channel, Chris_Moffat, go over and switch over to the Navigating Modern Dating channel and subscribe there. For the next couple of weeks, we're going to be running the show here on both channels, and then we're eventually going to move it over and we're going to split up the content, the dating stuff and the live shows. That is going to be on the dating channel, and then everything else is going to be on my personal channel. So if you guys could go over there and show your support, that'd be awesome. But ladies, let's go ahead and get to a round of intros. So again, just as a reminder, name, age, where you're from, what you do, and your current relationship status. Carrie, let's start with you.
I'm Carrie. I've just turned 36. I work in like legal ops, and I also model, and I also make art. And I am currently in a relationship, and I'm in upstate New York.
Okay, Trixie, how about you?
Hi, my name's Trixie. I'm 23. I am from Nashville, Tennessee. I am currently single, and my job, I do a lot of things. I run my own vending company. I do OnlyFans. I model for big brands, small brands, and I am an exotic dancer.
Okay, Maya, what about you?
Hi, my name is Maya. I'm currently based in Las Vegas. I work in marketing for the music industry, and I will be 25 in August, and I am in a relationship.
Anne?
Hi, my name is Dee. I'm 28.
Oh, no.
I'm
And your internet is breaking up really bad. You're frozen. Hold on. Try again. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you're super slow. I don't know if you're on. Are you on your Wi-Fi or are you off your Wi-Fi?
I am.
On your
I am
phone?
on my Wi-Fi. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on my
Let's give it a
Wi-Fi.
second. All right, let's try it again. You're clear now.
All right. My name is Annie. I'm 38. I'm from Brazil. I live in Las Vegas. I am a cook, changing to a bartender now, and I'm single.
All right, we're gonna keep monitoring your audio and video because it keeps cutting in and out, but might have to make some changes if necessary. Kara, go on.
Hey, I'm Kara. I am from Kansas, 31, single, dating. I do sales and OF, and yeah, that's it.
All right, and who do we have next? Is that everybody? Is that okay? Awesome. Well, we had something that we wanted to definitely start with. Usually we kind of talk to the ladies a little bit about personal experiences, but we had a couple more questions that came in towards the end of the pre-show, and we wanted to kind of get into first. So, Trixie, you were kind of talking about guys and their emotions. There's a kind of a lot of stuff here. So we can kind of start with this idea of, men and women being emotionally different, or this idea of maybe there are guys that are sort of standoffish, or they treat women different that they sleep with early, quickly. Like what do you kind of want to start with over that?
I guess we could go ahead and start with the emotions question. I feel like that's a great way to kind of start there and then learn why it leads into the whole sexual orientation part of it.
Okay, well, take us away.
Okay, so my question would be, why are the emotions considered different between men and women, and why are men seen as more logical than women? Because I feel like without emotions, you can't make logical decisions sometimes as well. And men say that they're strictly logical creatures and not emotional creatures.
Can you give me an example of where you would use emotion to make a logical decision?
Yeah, I feel like whenever you're like, for instance, like since we're talking about dating a little bit, I mean, you have to be emotionally connected to understand somebody, and that is what leads into being logical about what they do and don't like, what they do understand and don't understand, what bothers them, what kind of sensation is best in the bedroom. I mean, there's a lot of emotional things that tie into something that needs to be logical. I mean, even in business as well, like I have to make sure that my emotions and that my customers, whenever I'm dealing with customers and things like that, that the emotions there between people are also in a logical state. Like if someone is upset, that's something that's emotional. Then you have to make a logical decision based on that.
Do you ever see a scenario where making an emotional decision is better than making a logical decision?
Yeah, I feel like if my emotions were in checked whenever like somebody's upset, and then I make like a dumb logical decision, not based upon what could
But like
benefit
logic's
the
inherently
situation.
not dumb though, right? Like logic can't be dumb. Logic is just math. Like 2 plus 2 is always going to equal 4. It doesn't matter how 2 feels about being plus 2. So like I guess what I'm trying to get around, what I'm trying to get at is this this idea that emotions can be wrong, right? We can have emotions around things that actually aren't there. We can be emotional for no reason. We can have biological or we can have hormonal changes that just give us feelings, but we think we're really angry, we think we're upset about something, but we're actually upset or angry about the complete wrong thing. So it's like if there's no way to figure out if your emotions are right or wrong, then like what good are they in terms of decision making?
Okay, well then let me break it down in a scenario, I guess.
Sure.
Um, so let's say that there's a guy that works all the time, right? And so he's not home a lot. And so as a woman, of course, you're going to have emotions and you're going to kind of be brushed to the side, it seems like. Of course, they're making money, but at the same time, it's kind of like, what's a great way to respond with that logically whenever you can't benefit a woman emotionally and you're gone all the time? I mean, where's the logic behind a situation kind of like that? If I could put it like that. Like let's say
Like how does he
it's
make
kind
that decision?
like how in a logical situation I don't I had it in my head and then I lost it.
That's all right.
I would
These aren't
say
meant to be a gotcha questions. We're just trying to figure it out.
right. Um, I don't know. I personally just feel like sometimes, yes, there's a logical explanation for things, but sometimes I feel like the logic needs to also be led emotionally. Like I said, somebody can be gone all the time, and then, it takes 5 seconds to send a text message to make everything okay. Like, hey, running late. I can't come to the date tonight. Work's holding me back. But then it's also like logically, in a guy's mind, I'm busy, can't text her, can't really get to the phone unless it's a business call. So then it like throws things for a whole loop for the woman emotionally, but also the relationship emotionally, because logically it takes 5 seconds. But because a man didn't do something that was logical and understand the emotion behind it, it kind of ended up failing. You know what I mean?
Kinda. TC, I'm going to kick this over to you. What do you think?
I think you're just being emotional that he didn't text you.
Right on.
Like you got to be able to understand, right? Like he's busy at work. I know I wish he'd text me more, but I understand. Like that's kind of logical, right?
Yeah. But is it not logical within like 9 to 8 hours to be able to step aside for 5 seconds or step aside for like literally, yeah, like 5 seconds and shoot a text or a call and be
Yeah,
like, I'm going to
maybe
be late or I'm stuck in South Carolina?
you didn't text him, right? You're like
Sounds like a
waiting,
personal
right?
thing.
You're waiting for him to tell you, right? And maybe like 7 other women text him and he's so busy with that and work.
That's crazy.
Because the guy that's like all he can think about is getting out of work and coming to see you, he's texting you. He's letting you know he's held up at work. It's the guy that maybe doesn't really care. That's the one that's not texting you, right?
Could be.
Yeah, I'm curious. Did this happen with a boyfriend of yours?
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of. Oh, he wasn't really a boyfriend
stuck in
yet?
South Carolina is a very specific reference.
I guess.
So,
yeah, okay. I told you guys like I was single, right? Well, and before we got on here, I was like, I just ended things. Well, there's a guy that I was talking to, and we were supposed to go on a date last night, and he was stuck in South Carolina. And I called him, and as soon as I called him, well, first I texted him. We had text that morning. I texted him that afternoon that I was gonna need like 45, hours to get ready. What time are you coming? Hadn't heard anything. So then I call him like at 7 or 8 o'clock because I'm like, okay, at this point I'm fed up, So I call him and he instantly answers. I'm like, what the fuck? And he tells me that he's stuck in Carolina and he was supposed to leave 9 hours ago. And I'm like, kind of crying. Like, yeah, there's my emotional side. I'm kind of crying because why could you not step aside for 5 minutes to like actually care about the situation? Because if you're going to be in a relationship, there are emotions in a relationship. Like my baggage it's like, if you're going to be committed, my baggage is your baggage is mine sometimes, depending on what it is. But when it comes to like going to dinners, when it comes to like plans that you have together, that's something that type of baggage is something that is y'all's baggage. And
I want to
so
pivot,
I'm just
but
like,
CC, I want you to get your point in after this, but I want to ask a question to Maya, but I want to just make sure I put that out there. But yeah.
I want you to think about this poor man, right? So he's stuck at work in another state for 9 hours extra, right? I think and not saying that he shouldn't have let you know, right? But I think that's worse than he didn't text you, right? He's like, fuck this sucks. And so this is something to think about, right? Like it's not necessarily, it's not great that he didn't let you know. Maybe he forgot, maybe he's just having a shit day and he's stuck there an extra 9 hours. But, right, if you come to him with the energy of like, you're mad because he didn't text you and he's stuck at work for 9 hours, he might be like, man, forget this girl, man. Stuck here 9 hours. This sucks. She's being.
I mean,
I'm not out
everybody has a
partying.
job, though.
Yeah.
Everybody has a job though. Like even during my busy days, like I do like 45 things a day. Like, and I can still like right now, even on this podcast, I could be right here down below my phone saying, hey, I'm on a podcast. Like I can't talk to you right now. Or even when I could step to the bathroom, or I know you had to eat lunch. Like I had to know that. Like I know whenever you woke up this morning, you knew you were still in South Carolina. Like you could have texted me and said, hey, I'm still in South Carolina. I'll text you so and so. Like there's no like, I feel like guys lead with actions most of the time. And if you really like a girl, then there's nothing stopping you from actually going above and beyond for somebody that you like, period. And I have respect for myself. So at the end of the day, if you can't step aside for 5 seconds, just like how you stepped aside when I called you and you instantly answered and picked up, what the fuck is going on? There's no excuse for that. I feel
he totally
like
forgot.
Congratulations on
He
having a
didn't
job.
forget.
He totally forgot for sure.
No, there's no way you forgot because no.
Did he say that it was work, or did he just happen to have a better offer, or like what did he exactly say?
No, he said it was work. And I mean, I could hear work in the background, but I'm just like, if he is on his phone, like he has to answer messages. You know what I mean? So I'm like, by the moment that you're answering one message and then like maybe you're going through and you see my message, simply text me back. And especially if you know like that it's a date, like this is something that we planned like for a whole week. We've talked about it leading up to the day. Like, talk to him about it less than 24 hours ago. Talk to him about it that morning. Like,
see, I can't believe you're this mad. I think there's no way that you're this mad over a guy that I don't think like it's. I think you really like this guy, or it's weird.
No,
but then you were so quick to end it over. I think something so petty. I think that's like the issue I think I'm having. Like, all right, here's a question for the ladies in the panel. I wanted to get to this. I'm going to come back to Maya's thing, but
I want to say something
every
on this
week.
topic,
Yeah, please.
So,
yeah, go ahead, real quick.
Okay. I was gonna say the guy might even be just playing busy office sounds in the background on YouTube. You don't know. Like you don't know what this guy's doing.
There was a FaceTime
Yeah.
call.
I'd never
There's
think.
a
probably
God,
not,
you
but,
fucking FaceTimed him too. No wonder he picked up. He thought his fucking house was on
FaceTimed
fire.
me. No, he FaceTimed me. Thank you very much. He FaceTimed
I
me.
thought
he
you
did
said
reach
you
out.
called him and he picked
I
up
called
right away.
him, but then he changed it to a FaceTime call.
Okay.
God.
Well, the other thing I wanted
on.
to really say though, Trixie, is and Kara actually went into this as well a little bit. You were looking at like what is he saying? Like did he give a reason? Was it work or was it something else? Honestly, if you're trying to read this guy, that doesn't matter. Like what he said, because you should be looking at his actions. Like my number one piece of advice to all girls, every girl I know, is look at his actions, not his words.
But see, that's the thing. If you're gone and you're not here, your actions are as simple as stepping away for 5 seconds to send a "I'm stuck in South Carolina, can't make it home tonight."
You wouldn't have liked that. You wouldn't have taken that as an excuse. You would have thought he was blowing you off.
No, because on it, you want me to be
100%.
real? Like, no, he works. Like, I understand his workload. Like, that's one thing I really
So
did
what's the
understand, and
pro-
it's really hot to me. It was really hot to me. But
So
like,
what's the
whenever
problem?
you're
He's
gone,
working.
but look, he's been gone for like a month. You feel? So I only really get to see him like here and there. So whenever it's something like just getting to spend personal time, that's something that I really get to. That's something that I don't like to take for granted.
All right. We'll come back because there's a lot to unpack here. I want to. So the thing I was trying to get down to the point was like we hear this probably every single week we do this about how communication is so important. Communication. Do any ladies on the panel legitimately think that men and women communicate the same and have the same forms of communication? So like, what do you think the differences are between men and women versus in communication? Like, how do you think men communicate versus women? Anybody can answer.
I always recommend a book called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, because it kind of dives into the differences in communications. And men tend to be more direct, women tend to be more like we want to vent. We want somebody to listen to us. We don't want you to solve our problems, and that kind of thing. And I feel like that book kind of dives into it.
I'd say that's less about communication and more about I guess like communication style, not necessarily or like I'd say that falls more in the realm of emotions versus logic. Like guys want to problem solve, women want to be heard. But like in terms of the actual communication style, do you think women are also direct and verbal? Really? Maya says yes.
I actually do think women are direct. I think this is on both sides. We often hear from our own trauma rather than like the picture that's happening in front of us. I'm guilty of this. I know my guy is guilty of this. And so like rather than just listening to what is being said to you directly, you hear it from your own perspective.
What is I'm not sure I really grasp that last part, but like I don't know if we want to go down the trauma route. I mean, let's say on communication, we'll go down there maybe second. But like Maya, you were saying, yeah, you think men and so that would mean that men and women communicate the same if we're both verbal communicators, right? So like, why does everybody mess this up? Because it seems like that's what I always find funny. Everybody that ever comes on this show or goes on any dating show whatsoever says communication is the most important thing. And yet every day people are fucking it up and everybody's complaining about she doesn't understand me, doesn't pick up the phone or communicate the way that I want him to, doesn't know how to communicate. So if we all agree on this, then why are we so bad at it?
I think because communication is more than just spewing words. Like part of it is listening, part of it is understanding. And I feel like that part is mitigated. Like people will be like, this is my problem. I need you to listen to me. But communication is listening and then hearing from the other person. And I think a lot of people don't like that. They're like, no, I'm communicating this to you. You're not listening.
Do you care as much if you're actually understood, if you just get the emotions and the venting out? If he's just like, yeah, I got no fucking clue what you're talking about, but like you can vent and you can talk to me all you want until you feel better. Or is it important that he understands what's going on?
I think it's
Because that's starting to
important.
delve into problem solving territory, in my opinion.
I think it's important to understand, but it's like the way women will, like, we gossip with each other. We want to understand the situation. We want to understand the problem. And it's not necessarily that we're trying to problem solve it. It's just a
Because y'all are
curiosity.
nosy. Y'all are gossiping.
I mean-
Y'all are
Well,
just
it's a
nosy.
curiosity.
Y'all are yappers.
Well,
I
that
think
too.
you have to like understand the issue, or else it's just going to continue. So if they don't understand where you're coming from, then it's just going to happen again.
But it sounds like a lot of
So-
mental work. Like, doesn't that sound exhausting trying to convince somebody to understand you? Wouldn't you
Well-
rather just have somebody
Well-
that's like, hey, look, like, why don't you just not worry about anything? I'll take care of everything and you just go get your nails done and shop and shit. Like, what is all this nonsense?
Also, if the
Right.
goal is for the thing to not happen anymore, then isn't that problem solving?
I
And
would
why are we
say-
against problem solving?
I'm not against. I never said I was against problem solving.
I'm
I
not.
like
I don't
to
want to
solve
get into the
problems.
minutia with that. I'm trying to go down this road about, you know, I think that people like to talk how hard relationships are, and we think relationships are really easy, like super easy, the most simple thing on the planet. But for whatever reason, we always find ourselves going down these rabbit holes talking about like trauma and understanding, and you. It's just, I don't know. I think it's really simple. I think it's like you find a guy who leads you, takes care of you. You find a dude that is going to be the decision maker in the relationship. And it's like, go to the gym, go grocery shopping, make lasagna, and everything's fine and everyone's happy. That's how simple it could all be. Why are we all worried about all this other nonsense?
Because they don't
What's the
care.
point?
Because
doesn't
the
care?
person doesn't care.
Who doesn't care?
The person who's not listening, obviously. You talk about communication. Well, it has to be met by actually, like they said, listening. But there are also actions that have to follow behind that. So, like example, like I was talking to this guy one time, and he was a race car driver, and whenever he would drive very reckless, like very reckless. Like I hated it, absolutely hated it. And I communicated it 350 million times. And that was one of the reasons why I stopped talking to him, because it obviously showed me that he did not care about how I felt in the vehicle, about my emotions leading behind it. Even though I communicated it so many times, he still did what he wanted to do at the end of the day. He didn't care. He didn't care. So communication has to be met with care. The person has to actually care about what you're saying. If they don't care about you or they don't care about what you're saying, they're not going to care at all about what you have going on.
But how do you know you're correct in what you're saying? Like that's what I'm trying to get to when I asked earlier about how do you know that your emotions are correct? How do you know that you're righteously or
Can I have a situation?
anger or or discontent or this emotion you have? How do you know it's not based on something frivolous?
Can you like give me an example of like a situation?
Again, like the guy doesn't call you on
Mhm.
time and there's a very logical reason behind it. He gets stuck at work, his phone dies, it falls in the ocean or whatever it is. It's like, but you're going to go, you know, the emotion is made, the decision is made based on emotion rather than thinking about the logical part of like, oh, there's the emotional thing is he didn't call me. I am therefore mad. Therefore, I'm going to act out. The logical thing would just say that's not like him. Maybe something came up. Maybe I should give the benefit of the doubt because XYZ ABC. So like, that's what I'm like. Emotions aren't correct just because we feel them. Like we can feel things that are not correct. So I just think it's a lousy mechanism as far as decision making because you can be wrong a lot. And people actually tend to make the worst decisions when they make them emotionally. Like people don't generally logically murder their wives, right? 9 times out of 10, when people are attacked violently or when people are attacked, people are angry, they're blacking out, they're seeing red. It's out of extreme aggression and anger. It's not out of just like, oh, okay, I want this thing from this person, so therefore I'm going to murder them. It's mostly like I want to attack this person. They did something to me. So it's like, what, again, I'm just trying to figure out why emotional decision making is a positive at all.
I think
Because-
like when you communicate, it's not necessarily always like you're trying to tell him to stop doing something. It's just maybe you letting them know like how it affects you. Not necessarily saying it's like that he needs to stop. It's just letting him know like, hey, this is like how it makes me feel, or this is the way that I feel about it.
But do you really think that you don't
It's
expect him to
inconsiderate.
change at all? Like, what's the point of bringing it up if you're not expecting him to change behavior in any way? Like, what's the point?
Well,
No,
So
True.
Trixie, I've got a question about this scenario.
yeah.
So the guy drives like a maniac,
Mm-hmm.
and you told him to stop,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't stop,
Mm-hmm.
and he got back in his car again, and he drove like a maniac again,
Mm-hmm.
and you told him to stop, and he
Mhm.
didn't stop, and
Mm-hmm.
he got back in his car again.
Well, I
Why would
eventually
he stop?
stopped. Well, because
Why
he didn't
would
care.
he? You
just
keep
always
getting in his
used the-
car anyways.
He just always used the excuse that he was a race car driver and he's never been in a wreck and that he's very safe. Like, okay, that
But
I
the
don't.
point
that
he's
doesn't
trying to
change.
But
get,
why would he
the point he's
stop?
trying to get to, yeah, that's the.
If
there's
you
no
said
incentive.
I'm not getting in your car anymore, then he might stop, right?
Oh, that's
because
why-
he wants you
but
to get in his
that's-
car.
Yeah, at some point I did stop letting him drive me, and then after that he offered one more time, and then after that I ended up cutting things off.
So then he still drove crazy.
He just
Yeah,
wanted
he
to
did.
drive you in his car.
Yeah, like
That's all he wanted to do. Drive.
I'm just like, you can drive in your car crazy when I'm not in it, but when I'm in it, like I'm a pretty little princess. You need to slow down, buddy. Like this is
Has
a
he gotten it?
special package right here.
Do you know if he's gotten in a crash yet?
Oh, actually, recently he just crashed his car. That's the funny
Like how
thing,
happy
too.
she
He was
is to say
driving-
that.
he
She's so
picked me up from the
happy
airport,
to
was
talk
driving
about him crashing his
crazy.
car.
That's so
She's
was
literally
driving crazy.
cackling at this man.
Because
crashing
it's like
his
a life
car.
lesson. I literally
my
told him to stop driving crazy the day that he picked me up from the airport because he like ran up on 2 curves and I was like, dude, like calm down. Then he gets home and he sends me a text message and he says, I just ran through 2 fences and like these $1 million homes. He was like,
He's
and I
bragging.
was like,
He wasn't
I told
admitting
you.
fault. He was just bragging. He was having a good time. All right. I want to
This dude
move on to
was
something.
drugs.
Yeah, for sure. I want to move on to something a little bit different. I want to come back to something that Maya said. We talked about like trauma and healing and stuff before. Now, Maya, you're one of the few people that's said that you don't need to. You had me in the first half, and then you kind of like, I was like, ah, damn it. No, you said something I thought was interesting. You said, you don't need to be healed to get into a relationship. So almost every person we have come on the show says, I needed to be signaled to figure out who I am and to heal from past trauma. And then only then will I get into a relationship. And you kind of disagree with that. So can you get on that rabbit hole a little bit for us?
I don't think it was me that had brought up the trauma.
No. I'm talking you, but you mentioned like you don't need to be healed to get into a relationship. I think Carrie brought up the trauma. They just went hand in hand, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I definitely think that you should have a strong sense of self going into a relationship. But as far as like being like this fantasy of like being this like perfectly healed person before getting into a relationship, like that's exactly what it is. It's a fantasy because not only are we trying to heal from things that happened to us before, like things are happening to us every single day. And then when you get into a relationship, things are going to happen to you and to your partner. There's going to be some hardship that you share together. So I think that, you should have a strong sense of self. You should be in a good place mentally and be ready to consider someone else other than yourself. But you don't need to be perfect because once you are in a relationship, you're going to see sides of yourself that you didn't know existed, positive and maybe some negative. So that's why I think that.
Yeah. And you kind of answered my question that I had, but I think these are conflicting ideas. And I think this is actually what keeps people from getting into relationships and what keeps people, and what is honestly what's making people age out of like the dating and children pool on like record numbers. So, like you said there at the end, you said, even when you get into a relationship, there's things that are probably going to change about you. And there's probably going to be things that you didn't know or you're going to learn or things that are going to affect you. If that's the case, if you're going to change no matter what, if you get into a relationship, what good is spending all of this time for like self discovery and a sense of self because all of that's going to change? I'd much rather, I think people should be getting into relationships as often and as quickly as possible so they can figure out if this person wants to basically settle down with them, have children, and continue to populate this earth. But I think the problem is like more and more people are waiting longer and longer and doing all the self search, self discovery. When the best relationships I've seen, the absolute best ones, the people that are in love longest forever, head over heels, still banging like rabbits, are ones where the woman has essentially completely adopted the mannerisms, political leanings, interests, hobbies, musical tastes of the guy that she's head over heels in love with.
So I think that it's just a matter of whether or not you're ready to consider somebody in like at that level. Because when
And
you
what do you
think
mean?
about, so think about how hard it is to accept yourself sometimes. You
I
sound like,
love myself. I don't know about
yeah, I
you.
was going to say you sound like somebody that you have a very strong personality. You seem to, love yourself a lot, but I don't know.
I
Yeah,
know.
maybe you had a past where it wasn't always like that, right? And so even like every day, you're going through your own life and you face challenges and stuff, and maybe some of those challenges are internal. So if you think about how challenging it could be just for yourself, when you get into a relationship, you're not just dealing with yourself, you're dealing with another person. You're dealing with their
But how do you
challenges.
know when you're ready? Like, how do you know that? That's like, how do you know you're ready for that?
I
If this is
think
the first time you've done it or you're doing it where it's like if you don't have experience doing it, like how do you know you'll be ready? Right? Like if you've never run a marathon, it's kind of like, hey, you prepare the best you can and then you just take a leap on somebody. Like because that's the thing. It's like, how do you know when you're ready for that?
I think that's a decision that we all make for ourselves. But I agree with you where it's like, okay, if you've never done it before, how do I know when I'm ready? Unfortunately, we are going to go through lives hurting other people. I've hurt people, people have hurt me. And I think it's just that's the game of love too, is like you go into a relationship and you don't know what you're going to get out of it until you experience it. But as you're going throughout it, use your discernment to see if you're going to stay in that relationship or if you're going to leave.
Real quick, I want to get to TC, but really, I want to make sure I want to say this and maybe pivot into this, and maybe this is a topic for discussion. But like, if I were to be as objective as I possibly can about women being ready and men being ready in relationships, it should be men that are like post 30 or post 35 and women that are sub 25. As far as being ready, like biologically ready or in a way that makes the most sense. I'm not saying you're not ready later, but it's like if you're trying to maximize ROI, that's when you're the most quote unquote ready. But TC, what did you have to say?
So we might agree a bit, Maya, but I want to hear what is something that happens to someone that causes them to have to like heal for the next relationship or before the next relationship? Like, what is an example of something like that?
How I view myself. There's a time in my life where I didn't view myself as like a good person or like even someone that was beautiful. So even when it came to my own family and my own friends, when they would call me beautiful, I'm not going to believe them. So imagine how much pressure that puts on a partner.
Well, so how would that in particularly negatively affect a relationship?
Because if they are telling me something like, I'm beautiful, I'm this, I'm that, it's not going to get through my head. I'm not going to be receptive to those kind, loving words that would make a relationship flourish, right?
See, I don't think like a woman needs, I think most women, like for this example in particular, most women are extremely insecure about a whole bunch of things about themselves and constantly compare themselves to other women and in like almost a totally irrational way. And that's fine. Like, it's not something that I don't think that needs to be fixed, right? Like every guy's been with a woman that's like, oh, she's pretty, and the guy's just like, shut up.
Like, yeah, what are you talking about?
You're being stupid.
You're an idiot.
So I don't think like that, like for a man, like he's not going to care that you are this way. It's like, this is just how women are.
I don't think I understand your point.
I'll try to, let me try my hand at it. No, if you want to try again, go ahead.
Well, yeah, let me go. So what I was kind of getting at, like one thing we hear a lot of times, and this is why I think I agree with you on this in a way, is like women that were with a man that was abusive and they need to heal before they get into their next relationship. And when I see that, typically, like, I think a lot of the women don't understand is the thing you need to heal is learning how to not pick a man that's going to beat the fuck out of you. But like, that's not what they're trying to heal. Right. So like, or learning how to leave a relationship that needs to be left, which like the only way you do that is by getting into another one and then leave if it gets bad. So I think we do agree with that, but I still can't, like, I don't think you having, like, you're insecure about your appearance is going to negatively affect a man you're with.
I think that if a relationship is going to work, we have to be receptive to each other's thoughts and each other's worlds, even if we don't agree with them. But, you know, generally what makes a relationship flourish is that the man and the woman they do things to make each other feel good, like compliments or whatever it's going to be. And what I'm saying here is that there was a time in my life where I didn't feel secure in myself. So if somebody is telling me things that are really nice and I'm not receptive to them, then that relationship is just going to be friction. This constant fight of, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, no, you don't even love me. What are you talking about? I just bought you flowers and told you you're beautiful. No, I'm not beautiful. You're lying to me. Do you understand are you picking up what I'm putting down?
No, Spence, it sounds like personal baggage.
Exactly.
Sounds annoying as shit.
I get that.
Exactly.
And I think
that's
so.
something
I just tell her to shut up.
No,
I just tell her to shut up. I'd be like, that's it.
Exactly.
Like, don't say that again.
Exactly.
Like, shut the fuck up.
So you understand what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean about, like, there's a certain amount of healing that should take place before getting into a relationship, but you don't need to be perfect. And I think, it's a good example is right now. I'm in a relationship and I'm about to hit 2 years. I'm definitely not perfectly healed, but I'm definitely at a point where I can accept my partner when he tells me that I'm beautiful, and I believe it.
I guess the point that we're trying to nail on this is that it's like the kind of guy that's going to let you drag him down in the fucking mud and like argue with you about little semantic shit like this. You're not going to like him anyway, and you're going to dump him and think he's a weak beta loser. Like, a guy that you really want to be with is the guy that's going to be like, shut up. Like, what are you talking about? You know what? Fine. The lasagna is beautiful. Now go make one. Right. Like, that's it. I just, like, Trixie, I know you're putting your hand up. I want to call on you really quick, and you were making a lot of faces over there. So I wanted to get to you.
Oh, now?
Yeah, please.
Oh, I was just saying, it sounds like personal baggage. Like how he was saying earlier, like girls that have been in abusive relationships, whenever they tend to trickle on into like a new relationship, sometimes people bring like their past experiences and they try and bring them into these new, like these people that they are just getting to know. And then they like put their whole guard up, and it's like, oh, poor me.
But we all do that with every social interaction ever. You always will lean on your past experiences to inform yourself in the future. Otherwise, you're not learning. It would be crazy. It'd be crazy to go into every basic social interaction with the exact same mind, without any bias or without any idea of what could happen whatsoever. Like, that's
exactly.
nuts.
But
of course,
like
you use
said,
what you
learned.
learned. But
exactly,
but that's what I'm saying.
So
like,
if it happens again, leave. You know what I mean?
No, it's
like,
not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like,
somebody off of based off of your past experiences. You should let them be
Why?
who they are and figure out who they are.
Why
And
shouldn't
you shouldn't
judge
be scared to go
situations and people
forward.
based on past situations with people? What else would you base it off of?
I
See, like
mean,
that's the thing that I'm trying to get across. Like we're human beings, like we do this stuff. We can't completely show. We're literally animals trying to survive. All of these things about judging a book by its cover, and all of these things about utilizing past learnings to inform future choices. All of that is a good thing. It's a survival mechanism, right? If I get my toe stomped on or I get my hand jammed in something, I'm not going to throw. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, maybe this time will be different and I'm going to jam it in there again, right? Like we would use some sort of discernment to inform our choices. That's what
Yeah,
TC is trying to
yeah.
get to. It's like your time should be spent learning how to figure out which are the guys to avoid and picking up and walking away from relationships that don't serve you.
I kind of
Well,
want to
yeah.
jump in here because I was in an abusive relationship.
Go for it.
And I
Me too.
actually think that Maya is right, because part of recognizing the pattern that I was getting into and the men I was dating was realizing I was part of the problem and figuring out what was causing that part of the problem to be able to discern again in the future. And it was recognizing the toxic loop, right? The highs and the lows, the like, the give and the take, and realizing that that feeling, that anxiety, that like tension in my body, although it feels normal because that's been most of my life, it is not. It's my body telling me to like get out of there, basically.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like you're sticking your hand in the crocodile's mouth and it's getting snapped at and it's getting chewed up, and then you just stop putting it in the alligator's mouth. Like that's you're learning
But-
from your past experience. Like
No, but it's true. But I feel like you do have to like understand yourself to a certain degree to learn that. Like the people that don't get past those points are the people that don't self-reflect, don't learn themselves, and then don't grow from their experiences. So you,
interesting.
yeah, I think you do have to have.
Yeah, I wanted to ask.
yourself.
I wanted to ask Trixie. So, you said you're going to judge the new person without your preconceived notions. If you date 3 guys that have face tattoos and they all beat the shit out of you, are you going to maybe not give a 4th guy with a face tattoo a try?
That's not what I'm saying, though. I think like what you guys are taking what I said out of context. I'm saying you like whenever you first meet somebody. I mean, I don't have a type. I talk to all kinds of different people. Okay, so it's more like whenever I'm going into like a new relationship or trying to talk to somebody new, I'm not about to base instantly right off rip everything that happened to me in the past until I start to learn that person's patterns. Once I learn what are the red flags and what are the green flags, it's like, okay, I can see what happened in my past and these are the true red flags. Maybe it's not good for me. But whenever I see that there's not so much that happened in the past, like I'm not saying like y'all are saying like, oh, he beat you and like face tattoos.
Just an
I'm talking
example.
about just getting to know them in general. Like you shouldn't instantly be putting up that guard instantly whenever you're getting to know this person. Like, cause like you can communicate depending on what the red flag is and the baggage, you can possibly communicate those things to be better. Like how he was saying, whenever she was like, oh, I'm not pretty. And he's like, shut up. Like, just shut up. Like, you're beautiful. Go make a lasagna. You're as pretty as this lasagna.
No, I wouldn't even
You're
say
so-
she's beautiful
I don't
after.
even
I'd
know.
just tell her to shut up.
Well, then there you go. Like there's just there's green flags and there's red flags. And yes, you take the things that you've learned that are true red flags and then you just leave. But if it's like you can't just walk into it and instantly be like red flag, guard up. No, okay. Like y'all were thinking for a minute when I was like, oh, he didn't call me, that it was like a one-time thing or something like that. But no, it was like it was like a continuous thing, or it was like I had communicated how we have talked earlier, like communication is key. He worked on his communication, but it's just like at a certain point there are just things that that aren't acceptable and that you can kind of communicate to get over. You can't just judge somebody right off rip and be scared.
You guys
because of
agree.
the
That's
past
why
experience.
that you guys are agreeing. That's why this is so funny, because you're saying the exact same thing, but like it's being framed like a disagreement, right? So like you've dated guys, You learned shit that you won't tolerate, which became your red flags. And then you used that criteria to judge future men that you dated. And then when they exhibited red flags, you dumped them. Like, what are we doing here? All right. I want to give Annie a chance to chime in. Annie, what do you think so far of this conversation? Or what do you maybe have you want to chime in on any of the topics so far? You've been very patient. I appreciate that.
Can you guys hear me though?
Yeah, we're good. You're great.
Perfect. I got some notes in here because I've been listening to all these.
Amazing.
I want to talk
She's
about
like,
the
I
healing.
am ready.
Yeah,
Right
like
on.
the healing in the relationship. That was so sweet. That was so nice to hear. I believe that for myself, I don't think I will ever be perfect. Nobody is perfect. So nowadays people are looking for that, and it's crazy. Like, oh, I want to find somebody that's in the same level as me or better than me, that's gonna add to me. Yes, we do. I always want somebody to add, but we need to understand that nobody's perfect. And even this person that's showing up to be perfect, going to the gym and have a nice routine and money in the bank account, they probably have something there in the back that need to be healed, to need to be learned. Like, and I do believe that for me to not be perfect, but to grow and do better and be better, I need to be with somebody by my side, my other person. I do believe that I only gonna reach that best part of my life when I find my person, and that's gonna be the person that's willing to heal with me, right? To grow with me, to accept me. And I do believe in the healing part. I don't believe that you need to be healed or you need to be perfect. So in the best time of a life to find the best person for you. That's my take on that.
What are the kinds of guys, like what kind of guy would add to your life? Like what's the kind of like age range? What does he got to do? And what kind of guy are you looking for?
Um, I do believe in a person that, for me, I'm a very hard worker person. So I want somebody that's gonna be not exactly working a lot, but is looking forward for things, like someone that's really too chill. Like, oh yeah, nothing happened to me. Is not looking forward to
Let
build
me ask something
anything, to
different. Let me try
grow.
something different really quick. Do you want a guy that works harder than you?
Um, I think
Like puts
so.
in more hours, makes more money, like or has a harder work ethic? Let's not even talk about the numbers. Let's just talk about like what percentage of men do you think work harder than you?
I believe, yeah, I believe I want somebody that work harder than me because I do
But of
work
all men,
a lot.
like you work a lot, you're girl power, right? Like
Yeah.
so you probably work a lot.
Gordon
Like
Ramsay's kitchen.
you probably, yeah, you're fucking working a fuck lot. Like, so how many guys do you think are working more than you? Like, what percentage of all men out there?
Um, Pretty much in the kitchen is 90% men. So yeah, all the men I think work a lot. But it's not only the facts of working, it's like the fact of not being, oh, I'm fine where I am, looking forward to do and grow
Yeah,
more.
I get what
Like,
you're saying. I'm trying to ask you in general, like of
yeah,
men in general, what
yeah.
percentage of the population do you think those men exist? Is it 50%? Is it 25%? Is it 10%? Like what?
I think 60%. I do believe that majority of the men work more than women. Like I do know a lot of men that has 2, 3 jobs, like full time. And I know a lot of women, like I myself have a lot of jobs, but I do know more men that has more jobs and work more. Like, so I would
Damn
say
it.
60 and 70. Yeah.
You really took the wind out of my sails. I thought we were going to go down this rabbit hole because some women get on here and they're just like, no, I work harder than every man out there. There's no men that work harder than me, which would be fine. But if that was the case, then you wouldn't have any men to date because they're all below you, beneath you. So that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I want to throw this curveball in there, but so you mentioned you kind of gave an example of guys that are maybe they're well put together or they have things going for them like money and status, but they're not, but they have issues. Like what was the kind of what kind of issues did those guys have? Like if they don't have a money issue, if they don't have like a you know a good looking issue, like what issues did those guys have?
I don't think they have, like, I don't say they have issues. It's just what they're looking for, right? Like sometimes those kind of men don't even wanna connect with people that is not in the same level. Like, or if you don't go to the gym every day, I'm not gonna go out with you because maybe you go to the bar too much and you meet out. It's not what I'm looking for. So it's not like a red flag. Is just like nowadays I think people are looking for like mostly I don't know, maybe mostly men. I hear a lot of men say like, I don't want to date right now because I've been the best era of being single. I love being single. So they don't even want to date, right? Because they live in the best life because they're by themselves, they can do whatever they want, and like they don't need to worry. And a lot of women as well, but I think women always want to find a man. Like, yes, a lot of us want to be single, right? But mostly of the women are looking for a man. But men nowadays, they just want to be the best of themselves and be by themselves. I believe that's a new generation.
So to the panel. So let's just assume this is correct, that Annie's take is on point and it's on fire, and that there's men running around that are like, hey, this is awesome, like free love. I don't have to marry a chick. I can go get laid and I don't have to commit to them. And there's women that will engage in that, but they all secretly deep down want a man, but now they can't find the man because the guys that they want are running around, and the guys that want them, they don't. Let's just assume all of that is true for a second. What's the answer? What's the solution to this? If this is the problem, like, what do we do? What's the point? What's going to happen next?
I stay single.
Okay.
I
That's one
mean,
option. That's certainly an
you know
option.
what I mean? Like, I'm still looking, but I mean, it's just like I don't want to be
But like,
looking, right?
let's just say like, if we don't do something, let's just say there's no chance. Like, if we keep going down this road, you are going to be single. So what do we need to do to change it? Right. So it's like, what would need to happen? Who needs to settle, or what needs to change societally or between men and women, or how do we fix it? What do men need to know about women, or women need to know about men that can fix all this nonsense? Nothing. It's
Yeah.
open question. Anybody can answer.
Okay, I'm having sound issues, so if I sound like super staticky, just tell me to cut it.
Yep.
Like right away, immediately.
Cut it. Holy.
Yeah,
Not a
you're
single word
terrible.
came through clear.
It's so bad. We might just have to get you on the next one. I know you've been coming in and out, but you can keep popping in all you want. But I'm just saying, like, it seems like it's a hassle at this point. But keep trying. Who? Somebody else want to chime in? Who's got a plan?
What was the question again?
Right on. Let's assume everything that Annie said is true, right? The top shelf guys are out there not committing because they don't have to, because they have options. Women are kind of running around too and being promiscuous, but this is ultimately not good for them because they deep down still want a loving relationship, kids, and that whole thing. But let's say this is the trajectory that we're on. Like, first of all, does anything need to change? Do we need to fix it, or is this fine?
I wouldn't, if like, let's say you don't change anything. I feel like the women who are promiscuous just need to find someone that has a big ego, and the men who have money need to just realize, men who have money, I've met a lot of them, and a lot of them got a lot of baggage.
Like what kind of stuff?
A lot of them are unloyal. A lot of them are scared of gold diggers, but then like to like spoil girls, and it's like you're contradicting yourself. Some of them are terrible with emotions and their own emotions. A lot of them have communication issues. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, if you want me to be honest, I don't know. Is there anything to change it? I don't know. You just have to, because that
You were
y'all
gonna
were
say
talking about
something
like
that
my
those guys
generation
should
kind of
do.
sort of, you know?
You were gonna say
And
something that those guys should do. What is that?
if you have a lot of money, find a gold digger and fucking get over it. I don't know at that point, because I mean, if you're like so mad and sad, like you want someone that's hot, like I don't know, find someone that truly. I mean, I've talked to a guy before. and he was cool, and it was like his issue was that he didn't like women who were actually into him. Like he wanted women that like kind of were bitches and like treated him like shit anyway, like just didn't really care for him. It was like there's this book that I read and it's called Men Love Bitches, and
It's horrible. It's the worst piece of garbage ever written.
hey,
terrible.
it works some
Worse than
it
the love
works.
languages. It's horrible. It's the
Um,
worst possible advice that you could give any woman.
it sets out men, it puts men in like a I have to do more kind of mindset if you take it
Yeah,
correctly.
we're aware of that. Yeah, we went men are always the ones needing to do more. Don't worry, we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh
that's
no, we
just how
know.
it's supposed to be.
Well, see,
But there's
here's
a
what that
problem.
book is missing.
Yeah.
Men love bitches, some do, but women do not like men who love bitches.
That's true. I'm gonna be honest, whenever it's like I said, whenever I'm emotional, like when I like somebody, I'm like emotional and I'm like kind of nice and I'm kind of sweet and I want to like
Imagine
I want to
that.
cook for you and I want to clean or make sure like, you know, you got lunch packed. But it's like when I start doing those things, it's like I never get the man that I want. But then it's like the moment that I back off, I'm fucking ignoring you. Like you've ruined it for me. Like you will never have me back. Like I'm gonna be a complete bitch to you. And they're like on their knees, they're begging, they're barking, they're pleading, they're buying me things, they're doing et cetera, et cetera. But at that point, I'm kind of just done. Like, thank you for the gift, thank you for the shopping spree, but like, yeah, I don't want to be that type of girl. Like, I don't feel like I should have to put my guard up and be mean. I feel like I should be able to be loving and caring. And it's just like most of the time, men take that very much for granted. Very
But
much.
So
for
they don't
granted.
care when you cook and clean. Is that what you're saying? Like when you do all that
Yeah,
stuff,
or
they
like
just like
whenever they
yeah.
do, they just take it for granted. They feel like it's
Mm.
something that I should just do naturally. But the thing is, I don't have to. And I feel like that could be part of the problem. You know what I mean? As a woman, like I have it all myself. Like I take care of myself. I've bought myself cars. Like I've got a nice house. Like no one takes care of me. I take care of myself. I take care of my family. I have 5 younger siblings. Like, I don't need a man. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, if I'm cooking and I'm cleaning for you, you should respect that. At the end of the day, like say thank you. Like remember what I'm doing for you because the next girl might not. She might be a DoorDash ass hoe. You feel me? So I'm just like, I don't know. Men just feel like whenever you're doing it, that they just take it for granted. But at the end of the day, I don't have to do it. I could be a DoorDash asshole. Get on your phone right now. Give me something, you know?
TC.
See,
Or we could be at out to eats, you know?
the
TC,
issue
go ahead.
is the men that you're doing these pink jobs for, things that women often do for men, they're not looking for you to do those things for them. They're looking for sex. That's what they want.
Yeah.
That's awful.
So then when you stop, like when you pull back, so if you just stopped cooking and cleaning for them and were still enthusiastically having sex with them, they're not going to be on their knees begging. They're not going to be on their knees begging, make me food. They're going to
First
be
of
cool.
all, no, actually, these men, I did not have sex with. Deadass.
Well, that's a whole other
Well,
thing.
that is
would-
why you
that's
don't
it.
lock them down.
That's even worse.
I love it.
Are we cooking and cleaning for men? I don't even know how this happens.
does that
can
work?
You be like at their house and like they're just like, yeah, come over. You
because I
cook
didn't
for them
wanna
and then
have
you leave
sex.
and there's no sex.
Because I didn't want to have sex with them. So I felt like the nicest thing that I could do is cook them a meal.
So did they make a move?
I mean, they asked me for sure, and I told them no. And then
you're
they
like,
still
no.
they still continued to fuck with me. You know what I mean? Because like
Right. So the issue was they wanted sex and you weren't.
You were
giving it.
you were selling something they weren't buying. That's the problem.
I don't know.
Like they wanted chocolate ice cream and you're mad because you gave them vanilla and they're ungrateful, but they didn't fucking order vanilla. Like that's what you're saying.
Maybe.
I mean, that's what's so interesting. It's like, good God, yeah.
So
Like,
then that like ties.
I go
that
to
ties
a
into,
restaurant,
like,
I order pizza, and they give me a salad, and they're like, "Eat it, you ungrateful fuck!" Like, what's wrong with you? Anyway, continue.
I don't know. I guess that kind of ties into like one of the questions that I asked earlier about sex. I can't remember exactly what it was, but
I think you said, well, I mean, I don't know. All right, let me just ask a question to the panel.
okay.
Ladies, do you think that guys, do you think this is the male perspective that a woman who gives it up easy and early is like not marriage material, not like long-term relationship material, like she's a slut?
No. Sometimes you just caught me on an easy day. Maybe I thought you were really cute, but I just wanted to try it. Or I
No,
was
no, no.
horny.
So
Ovulating.
do you think that's what men
Oh,
think,
men?
not what you think? Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
think men think
That's what
that
I've been
about
told.
women?
That's what
Okay.
I've been told.
By men.
Yeah. They're like, if I
Why-
could get you on the first date or like the second or like, pretty early,
Okay.
they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they say that like they think that you're just going, period.
Maya, what do you say?
I don't think that all men think that way. I think it's interesting being on this show because I feel like we're talking about like general groups of men or like, but for me, I feel like I have a different perspective on men. Like there are for sure men who I've come across who think, okay, if this girl has a high body count, then she's, not marriage material. Or if she lets me, hit on the first date or whatever, then yeah, she's not marriage material. But there's also like another side of men that I've seen that don't think that way. So I think when you're asking that question, for me personally, it's like, I guess
How
it
would
just
you categorize these two
where you
groups? Would you say the guys that think it's a slutty thing or they don't like it, they wouldn't take the girl seriously? Do you tend to find them as desirable guys that get women, or are they guys that have sour grape syndrome?
have what syndrome?
I don't know.
Sour grapes. Do you guys know sour grapes?
Mm-mm.
The idea that if I can't have it, it probably sucks. I can't get laid on the first date, so I'm gonna say that women are sluts who do it because I can't do it for myself. Do you think it's those guys, or do you think the guys that think it's an issue are they more guys that actually have options with women, in your opinion?
I feel like maybe. So you're asking if it's the guys who have sour grape syndrome that think.
Yeah, are they attractive or not? Are they attractive and are they actually getting women, or are they not? Are they losers?
Somebody that I met, yeah.
Sometimes
Like that, yeah.
sometimes I think there are some pretty like awesome men, like as far as like they're attractive, they have good things going for them, but then they just have a shitty perspective on women.
But what's that perspective? You think that's the negative perspective, that they think those women are sluts, basically?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that.
Yeah. You should be a politician. I think you'd be great in the Oval Office.
Thank you.
Go on.
But yeah, I the reason why I think that would be a shitty like perspective is because I think that, and I see this with women too, is like people are resenting the things that they want. Meaning that there's so much man hate or there's so much women hate. Like, me being a woman, I see it in my own community. Like I see like, oh, like I hate men. And it's like, how are you going to hate men but then still want a man? I understand sometimes it is just being playful, right? Like sometimes I'm like, ugh, to my own partner, but I see that there's a lot of like man hate. So it's like, how are you going to get a man if you have this perspective that all men are shit? And then same thing for men. Like I see that they have this really sour perspective like towards women. And yeah, I know that deep down they actually want women in their life. And actually, I want to bring this point up. I've noticed that men who tend to not have any women friends are actually least trustworthy, because it shows me that they don't see women as people. They don't know how to really have a conversation with them, and they tend to steer all the women away from them, right? But usually men that have a lot of women around them, it's usually because the women feel comfortable around them, or maybe, there's like something else going on. But I've just noticed this pattern that, yeah, if men don't really have any women around them, they generally scare women away, probably because they have a really shitty perspective about women. And so when the woman just comes into the world to say hello to them, they're like, oh, fuck you. And it's like, what did I do? I just got here, just like projecting all of this hate. And I noticed that with women too. Sometimes like women project all this hate onto men. A guy just walks into the room, they're like, fuck you. And then the guy's like, what? I didn't even do anything. But I think that ties into the conversation that we're having earlier about your the events that happened to you in the past and you bring them into the present. Yeah, I kind of went on a tangent.
No, there's a lot there. I know there's stuff about that I would like to go down, but I want to tackle this first. And it's the idea of, the kind of guy that has like the negative stuff to say. And we even have data and research to back this up, not to bore people, but it's the more experience a guy has with women, the less misogynistic he actually is. Because those guys are actually most likely to understand women at their core. And so when guys are the only guys that it's actually the inverse. Like the reason I was asking what you thought is that the only guys that say this kind of stuff, that if a woman gives it up on the first date, that she's a hoe or whatever, it's guys that can't get laid on the first date. It's never guys that can. It's only guys that can't. So they say, because they can't say it's impossible, because now they're basically admitting they're sexually stupid and they don't know how to get women to like them. So they have to put the blame on her, saying, no, you want a girl like that? Like, oh, wow, dude, getting laid on the first date, what a drag. Like, oh, no. But that's how they treat it. So it's really not the case at all. It's like for the most part, men actually who can get laid on the first date and they don't generally like spending a lot of time and energy on women that are because to them it's like, well, this woman clearly doesn't like me. She doesn't like me enough. Like I've had girls that jump my bones first date. They're really into me. And that's how guys measure if a chick likes him or not. Not like if she cooks for him or anything like that, at least off the bat. And so when he's being made to wait, it's like, most likely there's guys out there or a guy out there that, well, it's the same thing. Like, because there's a guy out there that exists that a woman would give it up on the first date for, this guy knows he's not that guy, and every guy wants to be that guy. Nobody wants to be with a woman who he thinks is like she's settling for, or that he's not that guy. So yeah, I've never agreed with guys that say if a woman does it on the first. I think if a guy says it to you, he's trying to throw you off the trail that he wants to like sleep with you first date. He's like, oh yeah, those kinds of girls are sluts. Like, and you're like, oh, he like, and you're stoked now because now you don't got to sleep with the guy. So now you can just all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, he absolutely wants to be the guy that sleeps with you on the first date. He just doesn't want you to be the girl that sleeps with everybody on the first date. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, it is not black and white, and that's what makes this so difficult, is because there is like a dichotomy here. Most guys, myself included, don't want you giving it up super easy to most men, except for with me. Like a guy wants you to sleep with him on the first date, but not all the other guys you dated.
Understandable. I think it's like, and now this is just me joking here, where it's like, women, we want to know that we're the only girl in the world when it comes to our man. And it's like, we don't even want to think about your past. But the reason why I'm just joking about that, because personally for me, I actually honor my partner's past because I think it's kind of funny. And it reminds me that there were relationships before me that shaped him into the person that he is today. But then, sometimes I joke about, I'll joke about it myself. Like,
funny is not the word I thought you were going to use.
Like, what do you mean you loved somebody before me? Ugh. It's like, no,
you said 2 minutes ago, the only type of man that's attractive is one that has a bunch of women around him.
She said that as friends. Also, she said that as friends.
Yeah, but guys don't, like, only gay guys have a bunch of female friends. Like, straight guys that have a bunch of female friends are banging more women than regular dudes that have no female friends. They have hoes also.
Totally. That's why I said
female friends are like potential hoes. That's what they're.
I don't think always.
Not all of them, but.
I don't think always. But I do agree. Like, when it comes to having lots of women around you, I definitely think that there are different possibilities. One, this guy actually knows how to have friendships with girls. And
what does that look like? Why would a man want to be a friend with a girl ever? Like, why would a man want to be a friend with a woman?
Because women offer different perspectives, and women are also.
Why is that good? Why is a different perspective good? Like, if you'll never know what it's like to go through the world through my lens and experience the world as a man, and you're always going to experience the world as a woman, and you and I can't possibly have the same odds or experience in any social situation, what good is your perspective? To me, at least.
Why are we having this show right now?
Well, why do you think? It's a good question. I want to see if you know first.
You just had asked me. You just had asked me, like, why would it even matter for us to, Well, that's just it's for this probably the same reason why
there's a difference between like hearing your opinions on things and having a conversation versus like taking advice or hearing what you would do in a particular situation that I'm facing. Like, that's different. This is like for entertainment, and this is to show like men and women having conversations on these topics. So like that's not necessarily the same.
Well, I mean, same thing. Like when I'm talking to like, like my guy friends, or like when, my partner has long lasting friendships with women that I really do appreciate, because like they grew up together, and, obviously men and women are very different. And it's nice to hear and be reminded that we are different. We don't think the same way, and we navigate life differently.
Why is that good? My question is like, what can I do with that information? It's essentially like, let me ask you this.
It's a reminder that not only women exist and not only men exist. There's more than just you that exists in the world. So of course, wouldn't you want to be opened to different perspectives?
Why? You haven't said why that's good or positive. You say just because women exist, we should listen to them. My question I'm trying to ask you is this. Hold on. You kind of just said it already. We know men and women are different. All right, we already agreed on that. Do you think that women and men are inherently treated different just based on their sex? On average?
Yes, I would say on average.
Do you think there ever exists a world or a situation where men and women are treated the exact same? Okay, so if we agree on that,
maybe I would say maybe in different environments.
Give me an example. End of the world, y'all are we couldn't be more treated differently. We're still my point. I'm trying to make this like women and men have never been socially more similar on the status and social hierarchy than now, and they're still treated differently completely. We've never been closer. Like the further we get away from civilization, the more third world our society becomes, the more that we need the biological differences of men and women to shine through. We need the men to go hunt and kill. We need the women to have babies and repopulate. The closer we get away from that, like this ultra uber comfort society we now have the most universal playing field we've ever had. It's never been more close, but men and women are still treated drastically different. So like, I don't think there exists any situation ever where a man and a woman will be treated the same in a situation. So if that's the case, if you could just grant me that, if that's the case, then what good is the perspective? See before we answer really quick, to what?
Just to see each other. Maybe I won't be able to.
What does that even mean?
Maybe I won't be able to understand you in the way that you would like me to, because I'm not a man. But at least I can.
So you just want to talk to me. You just want to tell me your opinion.
At least I'd be able to understand. If I'm not able to understand you, sorry. At least I'd be able to honor where you're at. Does that make sense? Because it's the fact that we are.
But like I wouldn't. Don't we need just? Why wouldn't we just have guy friends that can do both?
We're coexisting in this world. We're not the old women. It's not just women that exist. It's not just men that exist. So, of course, we should at least be able to honor each other in our differences and where we're at.
I get what you're saying. It's not answering my question. We can move on from it, but it's like my point is like, what good is it? What utility do I get out of it? I'm trying to say like, how does this solve my problem or make me more able to solve an issue that I'm currently facing? Like that outside perspective can't possibly help me because you just won't, the situation won't be the same. The parameters will be different. They'll be treated completely differently. It's like, it would just be out. It just wouldn't be. So again, and if that's the case, like And women also don't generally share the same interests as men. Like the stuff that we like to do, the things that I like to do, like women don't really like to do that stuff. I mean, there's some out there, but the vast majority of women don't. Like y'all love going to brunch and gossiping, right? So it's like, why isn't it okay for a guy to be like, yeah, I'd rather not spend my time like doing stuff around women. Like I got a girl or multiple women and like we're dating and that's it. Yeah, but what if he's like, yeah, I don't see the point of having girlfriends and I don't want them. Like what's like really like because if a girl said that about guy friends, would that be an issue?
If you said that you didn't want to have girlfriends, then whatever, that's fine.
Oh, I thought you said like 10 minutes ago that was not cool.
No, I was
like
saying
if a guy says I don't have girlfriends.
Oh, no. I'm saying I've noticed a pattern that generally men who don't have women around them, they tend to be the men who scare women away because they have a shitty perspective on women and then project that onto them, even when the woman is very kind. I'm not saying that men should have, well, actually, I think they should, but that's not what I was saying.
See why? Tell me why.
You can
go back to it.
If you want to,
I'm all for it. I think men should have female.
Yeah,
friends.
but we know why you think men and women should have female friends.
But
it has nothing to do with their fucking perspective, does it, Spencer?
No.
You want to talk Trump and
a guy should have
female
a guy should have female friends because it gives him access to a ton of things. Like y'all know girl math, right? Have you heard of promoter math?
Yes.
Promoter math, for anyone who doesn't know, is I go out to dinner and I buy myself dinner. It's $100. I go out with 6 guy friends and I buy them all dinner. It's $700 for all of us. I go out with 6 female friends for dinner. It's free. The whole thing's free. Or we all go out to the club. I get paid. Like
I'm not
my birthday recently. We had. Go on. What?
I said I'm not going to be mad at you for wanting to hang with baddies. Get in here, Spencer.
So I want to rewind to how we ended up getting down that a bit. So you said, and I think you're absolutely spot on, that men that don't have women around them, women don't like that. It's a red flag. But then you said, when I think about my man having dated other women, it makes me feel bad. But if he hadn't ever dated any other women, you wouldn't think he's attractive. You'd think that's a red flag, right?
I was joking about that part. And if you were listening.
Okay, that's good then.
If you were listening to the other part that I said that I actually do appreciate that my man has a past because it shaped him into the person that he is today. And it helps me understand why he might think a certain way or have a certain perspective about women just because of based on what he's been through. What he went through before with other women shaped him into who he is today. It gave him his current perspective. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I appreciate that.
I want to say something, but I want to make sure that I didn't mishear you. You said you were joking about one of the pieces. What part was that?
It was a part. So for me, I appreciate the fact that my man has a past. But then I was joking that sometimes I'll be like, oh, what do you mean you had another girlfriend before me? Like, they don't exist. And that's just me being playful. That is me being playful. Just like how, my man wants to feel like he's the only man in the world. But of course, he knows the fact that I also have a past. And
but he doesn't like it like you do about his.
I don't think he minds. Or maybe he does. I don't know. That's what I guess.
It's just how men and women are, right? Like you see how the other women he was with made him into a more attractive man. Right? That's not how he views your past.
With your guy, I have no idea. With your guy, I don't know. But with most guys, they don't like
generally
a woman. Yeah, generally most guys. I have no idea about your situation. But with most guys, they don't like if a woman has a big past, dated a bunch of guys, had sex with a bunch of guys. But for women, they usually like the guy. They usually find him more attractive if he has lots of women around him.
Well, not always. I think that's just mostly me. But because
it's most women. I mean, I'll ask all of you here.
Literally, because I feel like a lot of women hate knowing that he's been around or
Okay,
had it.
well, we already know where you stand on
Nah.
this. I'm going to ask the other girls then. We'll start off with Trixie. The last 5 guys that you dated, how did you meet them?
Most recent guy I met at the club. The last guy I met through a friend. I hit him up on the gram.
Through a friend?
The last guy I met before that. I think I was like in school. I have not dated a lot. I almost got married at 18, so.
Okay, cool. But you said one of them was through a friend. Was it a girlfriend or a guy friend?
It was a guy friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But
Yeah,
it
that was
sounded
one of
like
my guy
all of
friends.
them were social situations, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool. Annie, the last 5 guys that you dated, how did you meet them?
Work. App.
Work.
App. It's usually work and app. Like I work a lot, so I meet a lot of people through work. And then if I'm single, I do app sometimes.
When you say apps, you mean dating apps like Tinder, or do you
Dating.
mean something
Yeah.
like Instagram?
Dating apps.
Okay. A mix. More dating apps than I've heard. Carrie, how about you?
Pretty much all dating apps, to be honest.
Really?
Yep.
All dating apps?
Mhm.
Okay, that's really surprising. I don't hear that very often. But what I was going to is a lot of the girls like Annie and Trixie have both met guys through social events. Like I'm even going to consider work a social thing. Like there's multiple people there. In that case, that is a scenario where you are seeing the guy around other people. You're seeing the social proof that he has. You're seeing him interact with other women, seeing how those women respond to him, versus on a dating app, you generally can't see that. You can't see any of that. On Instagram, you can see some things, like you can see women comment on his photos or like his photos. You can see who follows him. But on dating apps like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, you can't see that at all. And I usually find that women find most of their boyfriends through social scenarios, social events. A friend introduced me, not dating apps.
Well, this is why women they don't want to say a lot of times if they met the guy on an app too.
I don't think that the women are lying about it.
No, I'm saying like women are like, oh, we'll have to tell my family we met at a wedding, not on Tinder, right? But men don't think that way.
Yeah, but like tell their family that. But like when I ask the question, they're not doing that to me because
Right.
like,
I'm not saying that, but
dad.
like this is further supports what you're saying. Is that like women have like an aversion to meeting, like they even think other people will judge them for meeting a guy in a situation in which they can't vet him through other women and other people.
He's not lying, kind of, sort of.
I kind of experienced the opposite where like the men didn't want to say that we met on the app. And I was like, oh yeah, we met on the app. So
it's also embarrassing for men to be on dating apps too. People are naturally embarrassed to be on dating apps for different reasons, right? Like generally, I mean, most people on dating apps are men, and the vast majority of the men who are on dating apps do painfully terribly on them. So it's like, I don't know. I wouldn't be like, most guys just aren't stoked because they're basically admitting that they can't. Also, it's like also the boomer generation. It's also this thing about like, oh, you used to be able to, it proves you can't go up to a girl at a bar. It proves you can't go up and meet a girl in a social situation. It's kind of like you're lazy in a way. You're kind of not the hunter. Whereas for women, like the only people that care what women, honestly, the only people that care what women do is other women. That's why it was so funny. Like to me, at least, Maya, at the beginning, you're like, oh, we didn't get to talk about this, but it's like women need the sisterhood, like men need a brotherhood. And I'm like, dude, if the brotherhood was like the sisterhood, we'd all be dead. Like the men would kill each other off. Y'all are so much more cutthroat than men are. It's unreal. But I just thought that was I thought that was really interesting.
I meant healed sisterhood, healed brotherhood. But that's you guys. I feel like both hoods need to. Those are their individual battles. You know what I mean? Like the men need to deal with the men, the women need to deal with the women.
Interesting.
I'm just like respect. If a sister respect me, I'ma respect a sister. At the end of the day, whatever you got going on, tell me about it. We can both rant.
Do you think like true friendship actually exists? Do you think women actually are
Yeah.
friends and that can actually work?
My best friend and I have been best friends for over 16 years. We grew up together.
So what does that look like for women? Like what is the bond that holds you together? Like why are you friends?
We just have very troubled past, and our families are kind of similar. They're just crazy. So we just like understand each other, and like so we just tell each other everything. We've been through a lot of like similar things as well, relationship wise, and we worked at a Subway as managers together, and whenever her car didn't work, I pulled up with the speaker because she loves driving. So I'd let her drive and the AC didn't work. We rolled the windows down. I'm riding with my girl all day long. I don't care.
Let me try different. So like how important is it, and this is for all the ladies, like how important is it if you have girlfriends or a best girlfriend or whatever, how important is their approval? How much do you consider their opinion when it comes to guys that you're dating?
I mean,
Is it a lot or a little?
I don't think that should like, I don't know.
Does it come into play at all?
I've disapproved of guys that she's dated and she still dated them, and she's disapproved of guys that I've dated and I still dated them, and we still hung out because I mean, at the end of the day, who's still with each other? So
What about the rest of you ladies? Like, is it important? Do you have girlfriends that need to like, because some women think that their dog needs to meet a guy before they'll make him a boyfriend, much less another person. So I didn't know if that's something that you shared sentiment wise.
Dog one is legit. The friend one, I don't know. My best friend and I talk to each other like once every 6 months because she lives in South Africa still. So like I don't vet guys through her. I catch her up to speed when we chat in 6 months. But I grew up with a lot of siblings, and so I use my siblings' advice because I feel like they've always had my back. So
what if a guy wanted to vet your friends? What if a guy was going to say, hey, I need to meet your friends to make sure that you're not surrounding yourself with bad influences. And then he goes, yeah, don't like this person you hang out with. I think they're wild. They're a loose cannon. I think they're bad for our relationship. So she's got to go. Is there a guy out there that would even make sense for?
if you say that, goodbye.
Yeah,
Because
like
whatever she's got going on has nothing to do with me. Because what? Just because she has a crazy life doesn't mean anything. That could just be my tea sister. Like that could be the one that just, you know.
But you just
I
said
could be
you
the
hang
calm
out
one.
with her and all that time. Like you guys hang out. You guys are like sisters.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm doing everything that she does. Like, obviously, I'm still my own person, so I'm gonna hang out with what I feel is still acceptable to do. Like, I'm not, if she says, hey, I'm going skinny dipping with 10 guys, wanna come? I can say no, I have my own free will. But then after she goes and does that, go ahead and call me and tell me how it was. You know what I mean?
Why do you think a guy would want to do that? Like, why do you think a guy would tell you he doesn't want you hanging out with a certain person or getting into a certain activity?
He either likes her or thinks that you're gonna do something with her, or feels like that he can't trust.
Let's just say
possibly
any
trust you.
activity. Let's not even just say her. Let's say it's like not going to the club, like not wearing a certain outfit, not hanging out with certain people, like not
Controlling.
going out at a certain time.
But
But
it's an
why do you
abusive man.
think? But why do you
He's
think?
trying to isolate you. 110%.
Why?
Because he wants control. 110%.
In what way? Like, I mean, how
If
he
a
can't
man,
literally
men
control
love
you. He can
control.
leave,
So if they
right?
can
So,
have
like, he does
emotional
not.
control, physical
Okay.
control over your life, what you do, what you can't do, who you can't hang out with.
So a guy who
It's
doesn't
all a
care who you hang
psychological
out
thing.
with, never checks in on you, doesn't care what you wear, doesn't care what time you get back, who you're ever out with, or anything like that. That's a guy that's very secure, and that guy cares about you.
Now, you said a few red flags there, but you know,
Just the opposite of what I said. It's the opposite of the other guy. The blatant opposite.
I mean, there's a certain level of respect. You're just playing it off like, oh, he doesn't care. Like he doesn't care what time you get home.
I didn't
mean,
play that at off. No, because like caring about what you wear and telling you you're not allowed to wear that, the exact opposite of that is I don't make a comment on it at all, and I just be quiet and I don't make an
I
opinion.
feel like those things, yeah, it's secure. Like my best friend that just got married, her man is always like, whenever she dresses up and she might even go a little naked, he's like, "That's my girl. She's hot." Da, da, da,
Jesus
da,
Christ.
da. I'm so for real. But at the end of, and he's even
It's
let her
horrible.
like go into a dude's section, and then he'll stand outside the section and she'll give him shots. Like it's all about security.
Wow,
You just
dude.
have to
I
know
bet he
your own
doesn't.
relationship.
I bet he doesn't care about her past too, right?
Her past isn't hard though. She was a Christian girl, so.
See, I was gonna say earlier, there's two types of guys that don't care about a woman's past, and the first one is guys that are lying about it, and the second one are guys that want to see their chick fucked by another dude. Two types of guys. That's it.
Or there's guys that just are looking for a hit and they don't care. Like they're looking to just get with it. Like they don't care about. They're just trying to get laid and nothing else. You could say that.
Yeah, so they're lying about it.
Okay, yeah, right on.
They're lying to get in their pants, right?
Yeah. See, we asked this question a lot, so it's like the past question is, yeah, fine, but I think what I'm trying to get at here is it's, you know, it seems to be a really warped view of guys, men in general. Like if a guy's generally it's a guy that you're dating, a guy that's telling you not to do something or not to see. This goes back to I guess what we were talking about earlier, and because I was gonna get to this, Maya, but I was like, well, why would I listen to a female perspective, this and that and the other? And you could come right back and say, well, why would I listen to my husband's or boyfriend's perspective or whatever that might be? And it's because women care and men care for different reasons, right? Like women care because it's a stat. Like men want to protect their women, so they don't like their women being in precarious situations or dangerous situations or attracting attention where they may have to go fight and fucking die for you. Right. So, but yeah, it's controlling, but ultimately the reasoning behind it is for safety and success. It's not so he can like make you his slave. But women seem to think that any control of them whatsoever is just abuse. Like your dad told you what to do growing up, right? Did he do it because it was abusive, or is he doing it because he was looking out for your best interest? Because you couldn't decide essentially for yourself.
That's just more like a communication. You have to understand your relationship type of question. I feel like I could see your point of view, but there are and have been men that have done things like that to women to where it's just more of a control thing. So it's just more like a security type of thing. You have to understand your relationship.
But this guy cares about you. Like you're gonna go put yourself in situation around other men that don't care about you against the wishes of the guy that would literally like go take a bullet for you. This is what I don't understand. Like about a lot of women, it's like you want to go be around men who don't care about you at all, other than just for sex, or you don't know them. They may attack you. They may assault you if you don't give them what they want. Versus, and also while you're saying no to the guy who literally would take care of you and would die for you. I don't understand that.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to a guy that obviously is a good guy, but
if he says you can't wear that and you can't go on a girls trip and you can't hang out with those people, like, because it is a bad thing for the relationship and it would be a
there has to be communication there. It has to be based on the situation.
I'm saying but
it has to be based on the scenario.
Yeah. In these scenarios, the answer is no. So like, what do you do then? Do it anyway?
And say sorry later.
Okay. Andy, you had something. I saw you waving at the camera. I know, and we're getting a little bit late. I know we're going to start wrapping up here soon, guys. But Andy, go ahead.
No, I was just saying bye because you like.
Oh, you got to go.
The guy. No. I was because. The guy if the guy say, "Oh, I cannot wear these, you cannot go there, you cannot," I literally
Why? Don't women hate making decisions? Like women want to make all these decisions about what they wear and all this kind of stuff, but they can't pick what restaurant they want dinner from. Like, what are we doing? Like,
I feel like
doesn't every girl want to be a passenger princess and have the dude that just makes all the calls? Isn't that the life?
It just depends on the scenario, situation, where we're going, what we're doing, what's really going on.
That's the core of the issue. And Trixie, like, you're awesome. I hope you come back. But that's exactly the core of the issue, because there's this expectation of men that they need to do everything they're supposed to do, no matter what. He doesn't get to one day decide, yeah, I'm going to like slack off the next 2 weeks. I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to play video games. I'm going to eat Cheetos and pizza and get fat. Like, I'm only going to protect you if a burglar breaks in sometimes. It depends on the situation, right? Like, but when it comes to holding up your end of the bargain and being a woman that listens to her man, it's only when you agree with it. So it's like, what is he supposed to do? He's got to protect you 100% of the time and be the man 100% of the time and fulfill his role, but you get to pick and choose when you fulfill yours. Like, that's not a very good relationship, though, I would say.
I don't know. I'm not very controlling.
No, but like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if he decided he wanted to quit his job and like just screw off for a month and play video games, or he wanted to, right? That's the point. So like, why would a guy stick around with a woman that's only going to listen to him like half the time, and she's going to do what she wants anyway?
I don't know.
Ladies,
because you
am I crazy?
because I throw you for a loop every once in a while.
Yeah, dudes love that. Yeah, dudes definitely love being thrown for loops and like getting taken upside down by women. All right, let's start to wrap up.
No one's gonna give you an adrenaline rush like me.
Yeah. I always like to end the show with giving the panel an opportunity to ask us a question. If there are questions, great, ask away. Maybe we'll stick it to one per person, or if there aren't any, we can just wrap there. But I just wanted to give you all a chance. If there's anything you want to ask me, Spencer, TC, or maybe like all three of us.
Do you guys think I'm crazy for real? Let's just be real.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think you're modern, but I think you're modern. I think you're a similar representation of women we've had on before.
Nice.
But you're a lot of fun. Anything else?
What is the
Oh, was I overreacting? Oh, go Maya. Was I really overreacting? Y'all think I was
in terms of what?
Because he didn't text me for 5 seconds.
Oh my God. See? We just
this guy lives rent free.
You are so hung on
You
this man.
love
Oh
this
my
man.
God.
Let it go on him.
I already texted him and told him it's over, but I just
that's like I knew that wasn't gonna last. I'm like, you love this dude. There's no way. You're folding so hard. You're folding like a lawn chair.
Trixie, don't let him see this show.
We actually don't follow each other. I don't believe in following a significant other.
Okay.
Yes, I think you're overreacting. This is
I'm
short.
overreacting.
Maya, you had something?
Yeah. So why do you have this show, the female point of view?
I think it's fun. I have a good time doing it. We've been doing it for a long time. We're probably going on like a year and a half, maybe 2 years almost. And I think it's interesting for the viewers. I think we try to take a little bit of a different approach than other shows. I like talking to women, and I like talking about kind of the ideas around a lot of this stuff. I'm not interested in embarrassing anybody. I'm not interested in making people look stupid. I don't care if you can name 2 countries in Europe or whatever the hell they're asking these women now. I think it's good to have interesting conversations back and forth, and it's good to, share difference of ideas. And it's like, it's always, I have a good time doing it. So it's kind of to also show guys that they can have a good time, and they can just kind of see how women generally react to these kinds of concepts and these kinds of questions. And so a lot of guys will say, oh, like that's only certain women, or that's only broken women, or that's only XYZ kind of women. It's like, dude, we've talked to like 1,000+ women at this point, and y'all all say the same thing. Love you guys, but my goodness, like I could do a whole show myself. I might just do all 6 windows and do a full ladies' night show, just me. So, but overall, it's fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, right on.
Yes,
Yeah, there's
thank
not
you,
enough
guys.
shows out there that don't just bash women.
That's actually why I said yes to your invitation, because I had watched a previous video and it seemed more constructive rather than like them asking like dead end questions. Like they weren't asking for opinions. They were trying to coerce the woman into saying what they wanted to hear, which was something probably negative about women. So thank you for being open and asking these questions and also challenging our point of views as well.
Yeah, I'm good with anything you want to say on here. Come on here, have a real debate, or come on here, just say some crazy shit to piss off your ex. Whatever you want to do. It's free.
Thanks, guys, for helping me understand my situation.
I hope it works out, Trixie. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up
Yo,
there.
I'm just crazy.
That's all right. You all
Hey,
women.
Trixie,
it's
we're
fine.
friends. If you ever need advice on that, feel free to text me.
All
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap there, guys. Appreciate it. We'll be back same time next week. Me and TC are gonna do Navigating Modern Dating tomorrow. Remember, subscribe to the new channel. It's at Navigating Modern Dating. So we're gonna continue to stream from both channels, but go ahead and wrap it up there. So, ladies, had a great time. You're all welcome back anytime. Just get with Spencer, and we'll find another slot for you. But until then, hope you guys are